My name is Mitzi, and I like to make things. Some of my earliest memories are of making peanut butter-looking cookies out of mud with my twin sister. We would stamp the tops of the cookies with the bottom of our sneakers and then bake them in the summer sun. We were babies of the 70s and grew up mostly outside. We played with sticks, rocks, and cardboard, climbed trees, and definitely drank out of the garden hose. Over the years, I've expanded my creative pursuits and will share some of that here. I'm not a professional by any means, but more of an art explorer. Someone once told me that I make souvenirs, and I suppose that could be true, as I tend to use art to commemorate significant moments in life's journey. Art has also been a therapeutic gift for me. Having never made a YouTube channel before, something I never imagined doing in my lifetime, I decided to give it a try. So, on January 1st, 2025, I started this channel and named it Mitzi Made It. In this first video, I will highlight a personal 30-year milestone, share my gratitude to many people, and use creativity to express myself. My big milestone marks a moment in a series of events that brought significant change to my personal and physical life. 30 years ago, on January 1st, 1995, New Year's Day, I awoke from an emergency New Year's Eve surgery that saved my life. That surgery is called a total colectomy with ileostomy. I was 21 years old at the time. A total colectomy with ileostomy is a surgical procedure where the entire large intestine, or colon, is removed. The end of the small intestine is then pulled through the abdominal wall through an opening called an ileostomy, which allows waste to be collected in an ileostomy bag that is attached to the outer skin. All of this resulted from complications with ulcerative colitis that led to a rare, life-threatening condition called toxic megacolon, which is when the colon swells beyond its normal size and capacity. So while many were celebrating that New Year's Day, I was coming out of anesthesia and feeling the excruciating trauma of the surgery that was performed through a 9-inch vertical incision in my abdomen. I was unable to move anything except my eyes and could not yell for help for quite some time. Scanning what I could of the cold gray room, I saw a bed to my left with a white sheet that covered a body. Wondering if I was in the morgue, I thought to myself, oh crap, I made it. Fortunately, I was only in the post-operation room, and eventually a nurse came to my rescue. Seeing the distress in my eyes, she immediately sent for help, and this became my first gratitude for that New Year's Day. I remained in the hospital for 3 long weeks, and in that time I made a slow recovery with the help of some amazing surgeons, doctors, nurses, technicians, staff, and the love of God who flowed through them all. On one memorable day, I recall shuffling myself very slowly into the bathroom, where I leaned against the wall. I was grateful for the use of my legs and the ability to stand on my own feet without assistance, but discouraged in the journey to recovery. I whispered a small prayer. Jesus, I forgot that you love me. Will you please remind me? In that very moment, I felt a tangible presence of someone enter the room and embrace me with strong arms. It is difficult to describe a divine encounter with mere words, but I'll try. This embrace then covered me from head to toe, as if I was in a force field or a bubble of pure love that infused me with strength to carry on. This divine encounter lasted about 2 earthly minutes, but was experienced as if time didn't exist. In that small slice of time and space, heaven was made more real to me than this world. All I could say was, thank you. I've often felt homesick ever since. I was eventually released from the hospital and continued my recovery with family. I then gained enough strength to go back for a second surgery 4 months later, where they performed a takedown surgery of the ileostomy. A J-pouch was created from the end of the small intestine, then reconnected to the remaining 6 inches of the stripped rectum. It became another painful success. So I was grateful to no longer need the use of an ileostomy. Though the J-pouch presented different challenges through the last 30 years, along with other big surgeries and procedures, I've continued to overcome them all with God's grace. If someone had told me in 1995 that I would survive toxic megacolon, 2 major abdominal surgeries, and later go on to become a caregiver, nurse assistant, wife to my wonderful husband now, mother to 2 amazing children, and become a grandmother. I wouldn't have thought it to be possible. 30 years later, I'm able to celebrate this milestone with you, family, and friends, and express my eternal gratitude to many people who helped me in my time of great need. This gratitude may, in fact, extend to you, dear friend, if you happen to have paid Washington state taxes in 1994 and 1995. You see, at age 21, I spent all that I had on doctors and no longer had insurance. But when I needed it most, I somehow qualified for medical assistance. It's not often we get to hear a good story out of the imperfect systems we create, and I'm happy to share mine. For 30 years, I have wondered how I could ever say thank you to so many people. Sometimes words just aren't enough, but I'll say it anyway. Thank you. Like all people and stories, there's always more. On this channel, I will share more art that inspires me and personal stories of going from tragedy to triumph. I hope that you'll be inspired to think of your own personal milestones. How have you made it? And look how far you've come. Can you imagine yourself living a life of wonder outside of your current experience again? No matter how big or small it may seem, celebrate it. It's so easy to forget the progress that we've made and develop harmful beliefs that things could never change, especially as hardships can seem to drown out the still small voice of divine love's encouragement and instruction for you to overcome the odds. If you got this far in the video, congratulations, you made it. I now leave you with a little poem about my old friend, Tootie. Dear Tootie, it's been 30 years since we've been apart. I've cried many tears, and I miss your fart. It's not been the same since you went away. So crappy and lame every night and day. Today as I paint, I'm giving you wings. I now say goodbye to my old friend that sings. Just let it rip and give it your best, for God is your strength, hope, and rest. Sincerely, Mitzi.